Jaden versus Jesse. Elemental Heroes versus the Crystal Beasts. These two only duel twice one-on-one, and unfortunately, both duels give Jesse a disadvantage. In their first duel, Jesse doesn't have a win condition in his deck. No Rainbow Dragon. In their second duel, Jesse is possessed by Yugioh, and his deck is altered to be a darker reflection of what it was. I've already covered the second duel, so for today, let's cover the first. And spoilers, both Jesse and Jaden notice a misplay in this duel themselves, and they even talk about it, so look forward to that. Let's go! The duel begins and Jesse goes first. He draws, and his opening hand consists of Crystal Beast Emerald Turtle, Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat, Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle, Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle, Tempt of the Crystal, and Triggered Summon. Jesse starts by summoning his Emerald Turtle into defense. And I have to point out, you gotta love those Crystal Beast dub voices. They're chef's kiss.
Jesse, why is everyone staring at me like that?
Anyway, Jesse sets his Triggered Summon face down and ends his turn. It's Jaden's turn and he draws. His opening hand consists of Fake Hero, Contact, Neospatian Grand Mole, Oversoul, Elemental Hero Neos, and Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. Jaden starts by summoning Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. He activates its effect by discarding his Elemental Hero Neos. Now he can look at Jesse's hand and choose one monster in it and destroy it, if his Aqua Dolphin has more attack than it. Since Aqua Dolphin has 600 attack, his only option is Ruby Carbuncle. Aqua Dolphin inflicts 500 damage to Jesse due to its successful effect. Since Ruby wasn't destroyed whilst it was on the field, Ruby can't be placed into the spell and trap with its archetypal effect, so instead it goes to the grave. Jaden then activates Oversoul, which lets him special summon a normal elemental hero monster in his grave. He special summons the elemental hero Neos that he discarded. However, since Jaden special summoned a monster, Jesse is able to activate his set Triggered Summon, which allows both players to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from their hands. Jaden summons Grand Mole, while Jesse summons Cobalt Eagle into defense.
Holy Toledo! Talk about a full house!
We're in the big leagues now.
Jaden attacks. He uses his Neos to destroy Emerald Turtle. Emerald Turtle's effect places itself into the spell and trap zone, instead of going to the grave. Grand Mole then attacks and destroys Cobalt Eagle. It too is placed in the spell and trap zone. Finally, with no monsters left, Aqua Dolphin attacks directly. Jaden ends his turn. Note, Jaden could have fused this turn if he wanted to. He could have made a Grand Neos, an Aqua Neos. Should he have summoned one of these? No. None of these monsters would have helped him out this turn. They wouldn't have given him a big enough benefit from summoning them, because at the end of the turn, they'll have to go back into the deck. So, overall, Jaden's play this turn, I think it was fine. It's back to Jesse, and he draws Last Resort. Jesse starts by summoning Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat.
I haven't had fresh meat in a cat's age.
Since Jesse has 2 Crystal Beasts in his spell and trap zone, he can activate his Tempt of the Crystal, which lets him special summon any Crystal Beast from his deck. He summons Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger.
Why don't you tell our friend here about my special talent?
However, by doing this play, Jaden is allowed to draw 1 card. Jaden draws and gets Neo's Space. Topaz Tiger attacks Aqua Dolphin. Due to its effect, it gains 400 attack while battling. Aqua Dolphin is destroyed. Now, despite Jesse supposedly being unaware of Grand Mole's effect of returning monsters back to the hand, Jesse oddly decides to use his Amethyst Cat's effect to attack directly at the cost of cutting the damage in half. Maybe he just wanted to do more damage rather than destroy a monster. What you want to do in a duel is deplete your opponent's resources as much as possible.
Don't get me wrong, his play wasn't a misplay, as if he would have attacked, both monsters would have gone back to their hands. But logically, it made most sense to attack Grand Mole, because he shouldn't have known what Grand Mole's effect, and that's the only reason I can think why he wouldn't attack it.
This is foreshadowing of something that's later to come. Amethyst Cat is ultimately going to be the downfall of Jesse, but we'll get to that later. Regardless, Jesse sets his Last Resort face down and ends his turn. It's Jaden's turn, and he draws Neospatian Flare Scarab. Jaden summons it and then immediately Contact fuses it with Neos by returning both back into the deck. He summons out Elemental Hero Flare Neos. Flare Neos' effect allows it to gain 400 attack for every spell or trap on the field. Jaden then activates Neospace to increase Flare Neos' attack even further and make it so that during the end phase it isn't returned back into the deck. With enough attack points to go for game, Jaden attacks Amethyst Cat. However, Jesse plays Last Resort. Since he was attacked, he can activate one Ancient City Rainbow Ruins field spell from his deck. Depending on how old of a Yu-Gi-Oh player you are, back in the day, field spells, you could only have one field spell on the field at a time. So if you have your field spell out and your opponent activates a new field spell, your field spell, well, it gets destroyed. So, with that in mind, since two field spells can't exist on the field at the same time, Neospace is destroyed. This act reduces the attack of Flare Neos. Last Resort's final effect then kicks in. Since Jaden had a field spell when Last Resort was played, it lets Jaden draw one new card. He gets Contact Soul. With Ancient City Rainbow Ruins on the field, Jesse gains a variety of effects based on how many Crystal Beasts are in his spell and trap zone. One or more Crystal Beasts, this card cannot be destroyed by a card effect. Two or more, once per turn, you can halve the battle damage you take. Three or more, you can send one Crystal Beast card you control to the graveyard to negate the activation of a spell or trap and destroy it. Four or more, once per turn, during your main phase, you can draw one card. Five or more, once per turn during your main phase, you can special summon one Crystal Beast from your spell and trap zone. Since Jesse possesses two crystals in his spell and trap zone, the damage from Flare Neos is halved. However, Amethyst Cat is still destroyed. It is placed into the spell and trap zone as a crystal. Jesse now has 3 crystals in his back row. Jaden ends his battle phase. He switches his Grand Mole into defense and ends his turn. As he does, Flare Neos is returned back into the deck. Should Jaden have done one more attack this turn, use Grand Mole to attack Topaz Tiger, return both back to the hands? It depends. Ultimately, it didn't really matter based on what Jesse does on the next turn. But if Jesse drew something like a Fissure, something to destroy Grand Mole, then Jesse would now have 2 monsters on the field and could guarantee his win. It's a little bit of a misplay, but it's not a big deal. I'll let you guys be the judge of that one. However, what is important is Jaden had some alternative plays that he could have done this turn. The big one is he could have just not fused at all this turn. Simply summon Flare Scarab, which would have gained attack points based on all the spells and traps on the field. He could then use Neos to destroy Topaz Tiger, Flare Scarab to destroy Amethyst Cat, and then attack directly with Grand Mole. Jesse would have lost his entire field. And since Jaden didn't use his field spell this turn, he could now activate his Neospace over the top of Rainbow Ruins, and then destroy it. This would have caused Jaden to most likely win the duel. Now, the only reason I think that play is unrealistic is because Jaden thought he had game with the play that he was doing. There was no way he could predict that Jesse had a card that could place a field spell card on the field, so it's a shame, really. It's Jesse's turn, and he draws Rare Value. He activates it by sending one Crystal Beast in his spell and trap zone to the graveyard. He sends Emerald Turtle. Now he can draw 2 new cards. He gets Crystal Beast Amber Mammoth and Monster Reincarnation. Jesse summons Amber Mammoth and then enters his battle phase.
I would love to pummel that little toothpick of a man.
He attacks Grand Mole with Topaz Tiger. Both are bounced back to the hand. Amber Mammoth then attacks Jaden directly. Jesse ends his turn. It's Jaden's turn, and he draws Convert Contact. He activates it by sending a Neospatian from his hand and deck to the grave. This lets him draw 2 new cards. He gets Cocoon Party and Neos Energy. Jaden activates Cocoon Party. This lets him special summon a Chrysalis monster from his deck for each Neospatian in his grave with a different name. Since there are 3, Jaden summons Chrysalis Pantail, Chicky, and Pinny. Jaden then activates Contact to send his 3 Chrysalis monsters to the grave to summon their true forms from his deck: Dark Panther, Air Hummingbird, and Glowmoss. Jaden activates the effect of his Air Hummingbird, which increases his life points by 500 for each card in Jesse's hand. Since he has 2, he gains 1,000 life points. He then plays Neos Energy, equipping it to Dark Panther. This increases its attack by 800. Jaden enters his battle phase and uses Dark Panther to destroy Amber Mammoth. The second effect of Rainbow Ruins halves the damage, and Amber Mammoth is placed in the spell and trap zone. Note, for those keeping track, Jesse couldn't use the negate spell and trap effect of his Rainbow Ruins because he had 3, he used rare value, he lost 1, so he couldn't do it then. That's why he got the damage reduction, because he still had 2. But now that Amber Mammoth has been destroyed, he's got his 3rd Crystal Beast in his back row again. Jaden ends his turn. But wait a second. Dark Panther. Doesn't it have an effect in the anime that's pretty strong? Well, yes, it does. Its effect is, once per turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. This card gains the name, attack, defense, and effects of the targeted monster. So with that effect, Jaden could have copied Topaz Tiger, had a 1600 attack point Dark Panther, making it 2400 attack, and then when it attacks, it gains an additional 400 attack points due to the copied Topaz Tiger's effect. Why didn't he do this? No idea, not a clue in the world. Huge misplay to you, Jaden, as not only would this have done more damage, but on the next turn, whatever Jesse's monsters he's going to get out is, it wouldn't have been able to attack over it, so bad play. It's back to Jesse, and the penultimate turn of the duel. He draws and gets Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. He summons it.
Alrighty, gents, follow me!
Due to its effect, he can place any Crystal Beast from his hand, deck, or grave into his spell and trap zone. He chooses his Ruby Carbuncle in the grave. When Ruby is in the spell and trap zone as a crystal, it has the effect to be able to special summon itself to the field. When he does, the second effect of Ruby Carbuncle activates. When Ruby is special summoned, it can summon as many other crystal beasts in the spell and trap zone to the field. Jesse summons all the crystal beasts he can, and with all 5 crystal beasts, he attacks. Sapphire Pegasus crashes into Dark Panther, destroying both. Sapphire Pegasus is placed back into the spell and trap zone. Jesse then makes an absolutely insane play. He activates the effect of his Amethyst Cat, allowing him to attack directly at the cost of halving the damage. We'll talk about it in a second. Cobalt Eagle then attacks and destroys Air Hummingbird. Amber Mammoth attacks and destroys Glowmoss. Why didn't Jaden activate the effect of his Glowmoss? Well, that's an easy one to answer. There's a 1 in 3 chance that he could stop the attack and end the battle phase, but there's also a 1 in 3 chance that he could let Amber Mammoth attack directly, costing him the game. Is it worth the risk? No. With one final attack left, Jesse attacks with Ruby Carbuncle directly. Jaden is left with 400 life points. If only Jesse had 400 more attack points. Where could he have got this 400? Oh wait, he could have. He could have just attacked last with Amethyst Cat and won the duel. Spoilers, Jesse could have won the duel right here. So the question becomes, why didn't he? Why did he do this really weird play? Well, it's revealed after the match that both he and Jaden were aware of this play, as Jaden even comments on it and says,
このターンはさ、こうしてこうやった方が良かったんじゃない？
本当はそうしたかったんだけどさ、俺はこっちを狙ったわけ。
なるほどね。
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't think it makes much sense. Jesse describes earlier in the duel his philosophy on dueling. He doesn't like to stop the opponent from playing, and he doesn't really like to destroy cards with card effects and things like that, because he gets his enjoyment in dueling seeing what both duelists can bring to the table. However, I don't think this philosophy justifies not going for game, just for banter. I don't know, I guess this is just a for fun duel in the end, so he wasn't that fussed about attacking. Plus, he doesn't have his win condition. It's not like Jaden didn't have a way of keeping himself in the duel. So if anything, I would call this bad manners. It takes a little bit away from Jaden's win. Oh, I could have won this duel if I'd attacked with this monster, but I just didn't know when to see how this goes, so I guess you win. Jaden could have done his Glowmoss play. He had a 1 in 3 chance of just ending the battle phase altogether, keeping himself in the duel, and then winning next turn. Alternately, he did have a 1 in 3 chance of also instantly losing the duel, but it's a risk he could have took. Would he have won that risk? Definitely not, because famously, Jesse only plays like 8 monsters in his deck, and since this is his first duel, he definitely only has 7. He has the Crystal Beasts. I've never seen him play a monster other than those, so he's not drawing a monster card. He's probably drawing a spell, which wouldn't have saved Jaden. Anyway, getting back to the duel. It's Jaden's turn and the final turn of the duel. He draws and gets Elemental Hero Neos. Jaden activates Fake Hero to special summon Elemental Hero Neos from his hand. He then activates Contact Soul, which lets him special summon any Neospatian from his hand, deck, or grave. He summons Air Hummingbird. Jaden Contact fuses to make Elemental Hero Air Neos. Due to Air Neos' effect, it gains attack equal to the difference in his and Jesse's life points. With enough attack points to go for game, Jaden uses Air Neos to attack Amber Mammoth. However, Jesse reveals that it is time for him to play his legendary ace monster.
Meet the most feared creature in history! You'll never survive! Just kidding.
Well, that's what he would have done, if he had it, but he doesn't. And so the attack continues, and Jesse loses the duel. Just to be clear, Jesse couldn't summon Rainbow Dragon during this turn. It doesn't have that effect. However, let's be fair, if Jesse did somehow get Rainbow Dragon to his hand on his last turn, well, this duel would have been a lot simpler. He would have just won. A 4,000 attack point monster attacking into Jaden's Dark Panther, that would have been game. But with that, it's a funny way to end the video, but yeah, Jesse could have won, but I also think that Jaden could have won if he played a little bit different. However, that does require hindsight, so I think, yeah, Jesse really should have won this duel. Jesse, little tip, if you want to play a different win condition in your deck, since you don't have Rainbow Dragon just yet, I'd honestly play Crystal Abundance. Crystal Abundance is actually a really strong card. It's this thing right here. Basically, if you have enough Crystal Beasts in your back row, you just basically throw your opponent's entire field back into their deck, and then you can summon all your Crystal Beasts to the field and just bombard your opponent. And now, if you want to go watch the next duel, well, I've already done that one. It's right here. I'll put a link in the description, a link on the top comments. If you want to go watch Evil Jesse versus Jaden, the rematch, you can. Other than that, thank you all for watching. Catch you later.